So let's get into it. Let's get into what I learned from these three things. The first one, get buyers to gush about pain with the 9-figure sales deck. So write this down, put it on a sticky note, emblazon it into your memory. Money follows pain. Okay, it follows other things too, like benefits and political agendas, but the alleviation of pain is what draws more spend than just about anything. And most sellers don't get to pain because they burn too much time in a typical discovery call not talking about pain, right? They only surface the surface level of pain at the very end after they've gotten through like some basic qualification or something like that. So your job as a seller is to get to the heart of the matter fast, but how do you do that without coming overbearing and without, having earned trust with somebody who's a brand new prospect? And so I'm going to teach you the $100 million sales deck that gets buyers to pontificate about pain. You'll be at minute 7 in your discovery call, and they will start telling you everything you need to know because they trust you and they respect you because of the deck I'm about to teach you. And it's working really well. People are getting great results from this. Take a screenshot of this slide, please, because I can't make your deck for you. I can only give you the structure, which is what you're looking at here. And then I'm going to give you an example. So number 1, credit goes to Andy Raskin on this first one. Introduce change that represents either a threat or opportunity to their business. 2, highlight the pain that is caused and is inflicting upon their business as a result of the change. See, these two are connected. Number 3, show what everybody's doing to solve that pain, but it's not working, probably including your customer. Number 4, tell a painful narrative that puts all of this together that they can see themselves in. And then finally, after that, you pass the torch and you say something like, enough about us and the problems that we solve. Help me understand the challenges you're facing. Now, if you do this well, it should feel like you are peering into their soul, right? This is not about your product or your company. This is about the pain that you solve. And if you've done this deck well, which should only take you 5 minutes to go through, your buyer will be leaning forward emotionally, feeling more understood than they ever have, and they'll be willing to tell you everything. Okay, so we have time for one example today. And I'm going to walk you through that example. I'm going to go fast because we have limited time. And we'll see if we share out an example after this. First slide. Okay, this is me selling pClub for Business, which is a skills platform we sell to businesses. Okay, this is what it sounds like. This is the change slide. We have shifted from an era where everyone's growing at all costs to highly efficient growth. And what that typically looks like is going from growing headcount in sales to maximizing sales effectiveness, quota attainment, revenue per rep, that kind of stuff. How is this showing up in your world? Now, if I'm talking to my ideal buyer profile, it is showing up in their world and they're going to say something about it. Now, this is slide 2. This is the pain that comes from the change, right? Even though all of us have shifted from growth at all costs to efficient growth, most of us are struggling with this, okay? Only 48% of reps are hitting quota, and skill gaps are popping up everywhere. They're being exposed because of our hyper focus on this, right? You could be changing your sales motion. It could be the market environment you're selling in. Maybe you're rolling out a new sales methodology. In either case, most likely there are skill gaps that were cloaked in 2021 because it was so easy to sell that you now have to go address. Which one of these is screaming most at you within your organization? So this is slide 2. Now you demonstrate what everybody is trying. It's so funny, but it's not working, right? So we've got this problem. We're trying, it's not working. 87% of sales training is being lost. People forget it after 30 to 90 days. What have you tried to solve these challenges? And again, if I'm talking to my ideal buyer, they're going to be nodding up and down like this. And then finally, I'm going to tell an emotional narrative that they can see themselves in. So let me tell you how this typically plays out in most sales organizations today. Leadership rightly focuses on efficient growth rather than growth at all costs. Yet most reps struggle to make their number as a result of big skill gaps. 87% of what we try sales training wise is not working. It creates culture issues. Reps are disengaged. They're not making money. You end up with quiet quitting. And that whole cycle repeats itself. Anyway, enough about us and some of the problems that we address. Tell me about your unique challenges, because I'm sure they're a little bit different than what I just walked you through. Okay, so now I'm getting into discovery. That deck, you use it within the first few minutes. And again, what you'll typically see is something like this. If you're using Gong, right? You'll go through this deck, you'll ask that question, which would not get the same results if you didn't go through that. Anyone selling webinar tech here? You guys are making me paranoid about whether this webinar is going well. And then you ask that question, your buyer will gush. Okay, it will get them going. Now take a screenshot of this. This is an important principle. A mentor of mine taught me this about 9 years ago, and I think about it all the time. Horribly designed slide, I know. This was my slide. When you can describe your buyer's problem better than they can, they will automatically assume that you have the best solution. That is a very profound statement, and it is incredibly true. So that deck helped us close the first $100 million or so at Gong. The content of it changed frequently. The structure is something we use throughout. So at the end of this webinar, I'm going to tell you how to get access to 2 of these templates, as well as a training video that teaches you how to use these templates in your own business. Type hell yes if you want a copy of one of these, and we will move on to number 2, which is reveal the need behind the need.